dear friends. It's April 28th. We're about to get started on What's in Your Pantry. Today, I'm your host, Zoi Maroudas. Really excited to share our topics today. Dear friends, for those who are joining us, this is our health and wellness and just kind of the fun way of to create great things from what's in your pantry and limit the trips to the store and possibly create some great new fun ideas and recipes and talk about some concerns or challenges you might be experiencing during COVID and promote overall health and wellness and positivity. So thank you for joining What's in Your Pantry today. And I have some great topics. I'm really excited because it's birch season. It's springtime. Everybody's getting really excited with the days getting longer, with our health getting a little bit more positive, our mental, physical, and psychological positivity that we want to embrace and promote with springtime. So we're going to be talking all about birch today, which is really exciting. Most of us might be in the Northern Hemisphere, so we can have access to beautiful birch trees and get this beautiful liquid like from the gods, that nourishes our bodies, mind, and soul. So these are the topics that we're going to be talking about. So all about birch syrup. Today we're going to talk about how to tap a birch tree and how to store it, because that's important because it changes the nutritional elements. And then how much to drink and how often to drink it. That's very important as well. The nutrition facts about birch trees and birch sap, and then the history of birch tapping and its medicinal properties all across the Northern Hemisphere. And we're going to talk about the similar ones, which is really cool because even though they may have been further apart from each other, they use it for a lot of similar medicinal purposes. So these are natural remedies, and some of them are backed up by science today. In fact, that's something I'd love to share a little bit more upon, is that many times our natural home remedies from our ancestors haven't been fully tested in today's world in modern medicine, why they were used and how effective are they, or in fact, how did they come up with them, or things like that. But there is a lot of similarities across different countries and cultures for a lot of these medicinal purposes using birch sap or birch juice. So another one is a friend of ours, my dear friend named Janel, she asked me, she says, I want you to share with me how to make couscous, because I have couscous in my pantry and I got it, instead of quinoa, I got couscous. So I'm going to come up with a little fun recipe at the end to make a great soup or make a great cold salad. So let's get back to our birch. So to tap a birch tree, first of all, to identify a birch tree. On the previous post that I just did earlier today, it shows what a birch tree looks like. It has that beautiful white outside with a little bit kind of a grayish black little spots on it. You can usually peel off the bark and make great baskets and make great varieties of wonderful things from it. It's only in the springtime, April and May, that you harvest the birch sap. So it's a very specific time. What happens is the beautiful birch tree all throughout the summer starts collecting its nourishment for the time that it's going to go into hibernation during winter. And this is kind of like its excess natural nutrients that it's releasing now that spring is coming and it's just about to start flowering, the leaves are about to start blooming. So it's only for April and May. And once you start seeing the leaves start to bloom, go ahead and stop. So this is what you're going to need in order to collect your birch sap. You're going to need a drill or a screwdriver. I know it sounds, if some of us don't have drills, so I came up with another way to do that. A drill, a screwdriver, a straw, a container of whatever size, shape, whatever you like, some rope or tape, and a thin linen. This is the little container that I had collecting from last night. And in fact, I went out at 3 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and I poured it out and collected it in my other jar here. And so it collects over probably 3 glasses full like this per day, per tapping. So you're going to take a small straw, like the whatever size straw you have at home, and find a similar size screw hole to make for it. And always kind of drill when you're drilling into the tree or screwing into the tree, kind of do it up at an angle. So that way the birch sap can just flow through much evenly. You can go ahead and go like that. Some people, they have like, they use some of the Plex piping, which is a bigger, like a hose. You don't really need to do that because I really kind of fear of damaging the tree. There's no point of making bigger holes. It's not like you're going to get an excessive amount more from making a bigger hole. And it's more delicate. And you want to take care of your tree so you can have birch syrup all throughout many years, and your children and your grandchildren as well. And it's nice just to care for the tree itself. So just the size of a straw is just enough. And you're only going to need a little bit of this anyways a day. So protecting the tree is also very important. So make a small incision, whether with the screwdriver or the electric electric drill, and then just kind of angle it a little bit up. Go ahead and insert the straw inside, and then take a container, whatever type of container you like, tape it really, really well, or rope it super duper well so it can hold the weight. That's another very important thing, so it can hold the weight on the tree. I actually tried to see if we could do the video today outside, but with the sun, it would be too dark. So forgive me for trying to demonstrate this inside. So hold whatever kind of rope or tape you use that is going to secure the bottle really, really well. And then insert your straw, put a little linen on top to keep the bugs from coming in, and then come and check it every 3-4 hours and you'll see. Now, sometimes there is a little bit of dirt or perhaps a little bit of bugs or something that might be in there, which is no problem at all because you can filter it really easy. I like using a coffee filter, and this one here, I just brought it in from outside, and it is as cold as the refrigerator, and it's really cool. It's just, you know, just the natural coolness from the tree itself. And put enough, a little bit to moisten your coffee filter. Let's see if we can do this over. I don't know if you can hear it as well. And then just pour in. And the smell is absolutely amazing. I can actually smell the birch water right now. Yes. Fred, dear friend Fred just mentioned that you should not peel too much of the bark. Most definitely. Do not peel. If you make a complete peel around the bark of the tree, that is actually how you will kill the tree. So if somebody's going and collecting beautiful to make baskets or whatever sorts or things like that, and you're collecting birch bark, please do not go and peel all the way around. In fact, you can always see remnants of bark that has fallen off. Use those. Don't go to a beautiful, healthy tree and remove the bark. So it's really important. Thank you very much, Fred, for bringing that up. So I'm just going to do a little bit more. Oh my gosh, you guys, I wish you could smell this. In fact, anyone in Alaska should go in their backyard or ask a neighbor, because we have a lot of beautiful birch trees out there, and you can just put a little straw in there and then take it out and not hurt the tree and just enjoy this beautiful fruit from God that's kind of very, very great nourishment. There is a tiny slight yellow kind of a caramely color that's here, and that's normal. There's over 40 different varieties of birch trees. So you're going to notice that color, taste, all of that is going to change. And in fact, when we're doing olives in our family in Greece, even the olive trees, it could be the exact same species, the exact same olive tree, but when it's grown on the northern part of the island and where it's grown near the ocean, the flavor, the quality is a little bit different. So no, you will notice that most of the birch trees will have something similar to that, but the flavor is a little bit different. So I'm going to pour some in here, and I'm going to try to describe the taste for you guys. And as I said, this is cold, probably at about 33, 35 degrees, like a refrigerator. The smell is a little bit sweet. When you take just tiny little sips of it, you won't experience this flavor as much as when you try to take a couple of gulps. So I'm going to share with you, it's very important as we're drinking this, that there is an exact amount that you should be limiting yourself to daily. 3.5 ounces is for an adult. A daily amount is 3.5 ounces of, or 100 grams per day. For a child, that is very different. For a child, you want a half an ounce, which is 15 grams, or a tablespoon a day. This is very important because birch water is very rich in manganese and magnesium. And if you have too much of it, you can build toxicity to that. So that's very important that you limit yourself to a certain amount. So here we go. Cheers to your health. All the very best of health and positivity. It tastes a little bit richer, or I should say thicker than water. It gives you a little bit of an earthy taste, like a resin of a tree sap of some sort. I don't know, some of you who are in Greece may know retsina. So you kind of get this kind of retsini kind of consistency or taste. It has like this woody, nutty flavor. It's very sweet. In fact, if you're going to buy store-bought birch sap, do keep in mind that many of them add extra sugar to that. And this is already very sweet. In fact, those who are diabetic can have very small amounts of this because for all the other nutritional benefits as well. So again, to your health, one more. Oh my gosh, it's so good. To store it, after you have gone ahead and used your little coffee filter and filtered it, you can keep it in your refrigerator up to 3 days. Fourth day, I started noticing a difference in the quality of the flavor and the color. As you let it stay longer, it starts fermenting, so it turns into something different. There's a lot of good things that you can be using the birch sap for. I use it when I'm making our beautiful olive oil soap, which I just started and will be using actually here. It's great for families who have skin challenges, eczema and things like that. Instead of using water, I use our birch sap to create this. And it's also a lot of nutritional elements that come from using the birch sap itself. These types of soaps don't make a really big lather. Usually it's glycerin that makes a super bubbles and things like that. But when you experience soaps that have a lot of lather, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're cleaning better as well. So keep that in mind. And this one here, I make it pure with olive oil, birch syrup, because it's almost like a filtered water that way, and lye. And sometimes I use different flavor or smells like rosemary. I let them dehydrate and use it in there to get a great aroma. Oh my gosh, it smells like heaven. So anyways, back to our nutrition facts about our birch syrup. So birch syrup itself, it has a lot of great, so this is according to my calculations for 3.5 daily servings. I did the calculation specifically because, again, I wanted to make sure folks are not going to get too much of it. In fact, if you'd like to have it every other day or 4 times a week, that's probably the best way to enjoy it and get your nutritional benefits from that. So it's in sugars, according for 3.5 calculations, it's 1.1 gram of sugar. So again, it's really good. It's pretty low in that. Carbohydrates, its well is a 1.1 and has less than 0.1 grams of fats. So it's not very heavy there. And calcium, you can get 60 milligrams of calcium, which is about 6% of your daily value. Iron, it's not so rich, but again, it gives you your 1% of your daily value. Magnesium, it gives you almost 40% of your daily value. And the same thing with manganese, which gives you about 52% of your daily value. You see, if you go beyond drinking 3.2 ounces for an adult, that you can have too many of these nutrients that you shouldn't be having. It's really rich in phosphorus and potassium. These are just to name a few of all the nutritional elements in birch sap. Again, children, if you're giving this for your little ones, make sure to not give them more than a tablespoon 3-4 times a week. And this is really good. It's very great. Make sure to filter it. Store it up to 3 days in your refrigerator. If you're going to go beyond that, keep it in your freezer. It will lose some of its nutritional value if you don't make sure to seal the bag super good. The more air that you're going to leave in there, it's also going to change the consistency of the water and the nutritional elements because you're leaving it exposed. So in the freezer. So these are some of the common countries and cultures that have used birch syrup through the history of time. Finland, Poland, Ukraine, Sweden, Russia, China, Canada. In the US, we have in Montana, in, of course, Alaska, we have a beautiful supply of ample orchard of birch syrup available to us if we just kind of look outside our backyard or go for a nice hike. Again, be very gentle. Do not hurt the trees. So again, only just a size of your, pencil, make a little hole like that, and don't drill really big holes into it or pull back the bark. Let's protect the trees, and so we can protect our environment, and then so they can protect us as well. That beautiful eco circle that we want to create. So these are some of the common, it was really interesting in how many cultures weren't, very close to each other, yet their medicinal purposes, was it through trial and error, through history, what was it? But they used these same medicinal practices in different countries, and these ones that I'm going to share, which was all across the spectrum. So birch syrup has been used to treat lung disease, upper respiratory tract, kidney stones, jaundice, skin conditions, eye infections. For skin conditions, they put it on their skin and it helps nourish. Again, if you have healthy skin, you have a healthy immune system. So they used it for that. They used it for hair loss. They used it for gout. And for little ones, it's great for teething. It helps nourish and numb their gums and protect them like that. So again, for little ones, I'm going to say that once again because I want to overemphasize, do not give a little one more than a tablespoon 2 to 3 times a week. In fact, if you want to ask your physician, that would be great, your pediatrician, just to double make sure according to their weight, but just kind of a best guess estimate for a child, it would be about a tablespoon a day. And then lastly, we have how to make couscous. So on how to make couscous, our dear friend Janel, she says she accidentally bought couscous instead of quinoa, which happens, actually, it even happened to my husband. Instead of getting couscous, he got some quinoa, so we made some really great, instead of getting quinoa, he got couscous, which I love to make fresh myself. So we are going to incorporate this into our meals. With I always like using our Bambinos baby food for great stock. So I'm going to share with you for 1 cup of couscous, depending on what type of couscous you got. There's a couple of different varieties of couscous. There's the thicker one, which is the pearl, which tends to be a little bit bigger, almost the size of my nail. And that one there, you're going to read the instructions on the back just to make sure we have the good enough ratio for water for rehydration. And so I'm going to say for ours, I always use 1 cup couscous, 2 cups water. And the 2 cups water, I bring in 6 or 8 stars of the Bambino stars, whatever flavor it is, whether it's the chicken, beef, or seafood, depending on the flavor that you would like your soup to come out with. And what I do is I take those little star-shaped cubes, put them in the 2 cups of water, bring all of that to a beautiful boil. And then, by the way, those stars have your chicken, seafood, but there's also, you have your celery, your onions, your olive oil, your carrots. So it's going to bring you that overall balance. Put in a little bit of olive oil, sea salt to taste. Once it comes up to a beautiful boil, dump in your couscous, give it a light stir, and bring it down to a medium boil, and put a lid on it. watch it for just about a minute, come back, stir it, turn off the heat, and then put the lid on it. This will give you a nice fluffy couscous. Now you can do two things with that nice fluffy couscous that's going to rehydrate. You're going to either make a beautiful soup from it, which you can add more stock and add in your chicken, your carrots, your celery, your onions, and make a really nice soup like that, and squeeze some lemon juice. Or you can make a delicious cold salad. So you can dice some carrots, some onions, some green peppers, maybe some fresh tomatoes. And once your couscous has become completely cold, toss in some olive oil. Make sure there's no juices left in there. Toss in some olive oil and put in your fresh cut vegetables. And put, again, olive oil, some sea salt, and some fresh squeezed lemon juice. If you have, you can use some vinegar if you like, or beautiful wine, but I always prefer for the citrusy, nice fresh flavors to put some lemon juice in there, and then toss it up, and you have a delicious cold salad that you can enjoy for 3 days or so. So that's it for today. What's in your pantry? I hope you guys enjoyed talking about our birch syrup. I encourage you guys to go ahead and try that in your home or outside at, maybe when you're going out for a nice walk and you see, like in the park, perhaps be very gentle with the trees. My father, when we do our olives, and every other year, sometimes he has a new crew that comes in. And my father, he always says, the trees are alive. It's like a human. They have feelings. They have sensitivities that we must take care of them. In fact, if you tap an olive tree at the wrong way when it's damp, it will even create wilts. The same similar thing with a birch tree. If you're going to over expose it, it won't be able to protect itself throughout the winter and provide, again, the beautiful colors, the beautiful, environment that we live in, our oxygen that we need, and provide us with delicious birch syrup. So when you're out and about, try in the next couple of weeks. You only have a short time to do, because I can see some of our trees are about to bud here in Alaska. So enjoy this delicious birch syrup. It's good for your health, good for your mind, good for your body, and a great family tradition that you can start with your little ones. Ours really enjoy it. And I can't wait to share with you all the delicious goodies that I'm going to be making with birch syrup. And I'll be sharing it with you at our Bambinos. Much love and respect, and all the very best of health and positivity. Look forward to answering any questions that you might come across. You can either email them to me, message them on Messenger, or call in or text me. Love to hear your voice regardless anyway. So all the very best of health and positivity. Join me next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, 3 p.m. Alaska Standard Time, for What's in Your Pantry today. And I forgot to mention, please do the hashtags What's in Your Pantry today, Flatten the Curve, and Shelter in Love. So all the very best. Have a beautiful day. All the very best. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Candy. All the very best. Have a beautiful day again. Let me see. Oh, Candy has a question for us. Yes. What do you do with the hull? Many times I just prefer to take the same bark from the tree, not to bring in something outside, like, for example, some paper and crumple it up in there. I've seen some people do that. You don't want to do it because you're bringing something invasive in it. You can either leave it alone if it's the size of the straw. I prefer to fill it up with a little bit of bark from its own, the shavings that are past, not pull back the bark, but there's something that's like past the tree itself. You can go ahead and do that. So all the very best again. Thank you so very much, and much love and respect to you all. I should share, I will be starting baking again at Bambinos every probably Friday next week. So stay tuned. Much love again. Have a beautiful, healthy, and positive day. Bye, my dears.